Whew. Like a furnace in my mouth. It ain't reach down here though.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Daniel Loveless, and welcome to Hot Ones Caribbean. It's that show with the hot questions and even hotter wings. Now, you know this show is all about pepper sauce. And if we're talking pepper sauce, we gotta plant the pepper. And if you gotta plant the pepper, we gotta talk agriculture. And when talking about agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago, Senator Clarence Ranbharat is in charge of that. The two-time government senator is the man responsible for ensuring our pepper sauce production is intact and the pepper sauce on the table are hot ones. Senator, you think you could handle the pepper?
Of course, I think I could handle most of them. It's Trinidad and Tobago pepper. We're very famous for it, and I'm looking forward. They look problematic, but I think I'll be able to handle it, especially with my milk and my Andrews on that side. But thank you very much for inviting me here. I really look forward to talking about pepper and talking about Trinidad and Tobago. And Daniel, I didn't come empty-handed.
You lie.
I am here to plead mercy from the start. I know that you have a very active lifestyle, so I want to introduce you to some things you would like. I brought you some moko. You ever had moko?
I never had moko, you know.
Well, you have to learn to prepare moko. So you let it ripe a little bit until you get some darker color on it. And you fry it, not too much oil. The oil ain't too good for you. I brought a squash here, starting you off small. So this is locally grown in Orange Grove. It's very, very popular in the country. And I brought you some lovely tomatoes. I know it's a little pricey right now. The price is going down, so you have your local tomatoes. You could do all sorts of things with it, and you're very colorful. So I brought the orange squash, the yellow moko, and the red pepper. And that is for you. And I know you're going to continue to eat local, and you're going to continue to eat all your pepper sauce from Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful. You definitely a hot one. But let me see if I can handle the first pepper sauce we have on the table here, which is the peri peri, tamarind, and bird pepper sauce. You'd like to take it off?
You know, bird pepper is one of our best peppers in the country. It has a little bit of acid, very flavorful, and we have different flavors depending on where you are in the country. And now you have some of the plants generating 2 or 3 different colors.
Let me dip and see how the thing tastes in there, man.
Some nice jeera in there too. I think when I'm doing my jeera neck and jeera pork, peri right on the side. Yeah, my mouth kind of warm with this one though.
Kind of warm, define warm.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
You're feeling it?
I'm feeling it right here. Right here. Nice and warm.
You're feeling that feeling?
Yeah, like a chula in my throat.
Well, I take you straight to the sauce. So let me get straight to the sauce. Why is pepper sauce a priority in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I think the first thing we know about Trinidad is that Trinidad is a diverse country. And we say that, but we don't really know what we mean sometimes. But diversity really means music, culture, language, how we dress, how we interact, how we live. And most importantly, diversity is about food.
You know, I never think that.
You see a lot of similarities, but we have Africans came, the East Indians came, the Lebanese came, the Syrian came, the Chinese came.
Everybody came.
And the thing about it, they all brought a lot of things, but all of them had spices, and all of them had spices that include pepper. How they consume it, how they prepare it is different, how they combine it is different. But ultimately, we ended up in this melting pot, Trinidad, with a melting pot that hot because of the sauces. But the pepper is really the heat, and the skill in the pepper is the ability to balance all the different spices. That's how you know a good pepper sauce.
Well, we socially distanced on set here right now, and I feel like my skill is hearing you because I hear you.
Yeah.
Under your breath every minute, the pepper burning you up already,
this
boy.
one, I don't know if we start at the right end.
I feel
Because that one, it's the longer it stays, the hotter it gets.
You sure you're dipping the correct one, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to be moving from brown to red, but I don't know. I don't know how fast I'll go.
Senator, can you tell me what are you doing to support local pepper farmers in Trinidad and Tobago right now?
the number one thing we do for farmers in the country is to make state land available. Now, we've done that historically since the 1950s. The problem with that is that a lot of farmers, in fact, our best farmers in the country don't have land tenure. So the focus has been on renewing their leases or granting them leases. Because when you get a lease for 30 years, renewable for 30 years, that's 60 years. 3 generations will look down the road and see the opportunity to invest. What made Trinidad so important in the world of pepper is the fact that we were constantly breeding. We were breeding new varieties. We created the scorpion, but we weren't protecting the intellectual property of it. Pepper is very difficult to have a consistent taste, a consistent flavor, because of the nature of the plant. So it is it changes, and our farmers have evolved with it. But apart from scorpion, a lot of people focus on Muruga red, for example. Beautiful pepper, very distinct taste, but it's not one that is going to give you as much problems as the scorpion. So it's not just the scorpion, we have the Muruga red, we have other flavors, we have the traditional pepper. And what we do is to continue to support the farmers in terms of the incentives, in terms of the subsidies, in terms of not only for them to assist them in growing, but for exactly what is in front of us, for branding, for developing quality, for exporting. We have Export TT that supports on the export side.
But let's move on to the second pepper sauce that we have here, which is the totally tasty hot basil pepper sauce.
The new kid on the block. Wow. God, I could run out of this room.
You're too heated out, and you're eating all. I love that.
I like the meat. Listen, Daniel, that one is trouble, boy.
I listen. Why say it's trouble?
Hey, whoo. Like a furnace in my mouth. It ain't reach down here, though.
I just want to remind you that we are on our second pepper sauce. Right? I know that you grew up in a family of farmers. I'm correct?
Yeah. 3 or 4 generations. My great-grandparents came from India. My great-grandfather was a pundit, and they settled in southeast Trinidad. And they're now to be found from Sangre Grande straight down to Rosila Kende.
Some kind of basil day.
Yeah, trying to catch my breath.
Nice, yeah. Take your time, man.
And remember my family at the same time.
So I mean, the agriculture job wasn't. I mean, it was cut out for you after all.
Not really. Maybe not. But I've been in it. We've been in it, and I also worked in Caroni 1975 Limited, which was a national agro company producing sugar, molasses, and rum. So that was also part of my life.
I was shocked when I saw soca superstar Marshall Montano planting his garden at home, but I wasn't shocked when I saw that you had a garden. But I must ask, do you plant pepper?
Yeah, I must plant pepper. I have anywhere I live, I must be planting something. So I like herbs and the heat. So I have bird pepper. I like to have pimento. So I must have something around. Right now I have passion fruit. I have some ginger growing, some other things. I can't have a lot of things, but everywhere I live, I must plant something. I must have something, and that must include pepper.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Trinidad and Tobago.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, be a vibes in ya, this a hot one. Link up, connect, buzz a sweat when you're dip on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the National Lotteries Control Board. Now let's create benefits.
So I want to continue to increase the heat. So I want us to take it to the next pepper sauce, which is the Maggi spicy with shadow Benny.
But this wing looking like it was in the pepper already.
Nah, don't worry yourself now, man.
God.
When you're ready, I'm ready. Let me go. So you're breathing in there, processing the pepper. But you know, we're talking agriculture today. So tell me about some of the challenges that farmers face within Trinidad and Tobago.
We have in this country some great farmers, I must say that. The farming in this country, just like my family, it's built around farming families, 3rd and 4th generations, and that provides the stability in the country. For example, during the COVID period, when a lot of countries may have been struggling, we have been able to keep our markets open and keep it going, and we've had an abundance of fresh fruit and vegetables. The weather has also helped us. The challenges are really related to the bureaucracy, as I said, land tenure. It's very difficult. Sometimes there was a lady, I never forget her, 1st of October 2018, Sheila from Point Fortin, and when I gave her her document confirming that her lease had been renewed, she pulled me closer and she said, Minister, it's 60 years of waiting, you know.
Wow.
And boy, I feel bad for myself and for generations before me. But land tenure has been the number one issue. And then the incentives itself, what I found with the incentives, we reward everybody the same way. So we have a new incentive that really rewards the performers. And just like in the pepper sauce business,
yes,
we want to reward the people who really performing. And so far in this batting lineup, we have three top performers so far. Because by the time we get down to the Brian Lara of pepper down in the end.
The Brian Lara of pepper.
I might be out.
Why you call it the Brian Lara of pepper?
No, well, if it's at the top, I mean, if that is the top of the hierarchy,
right,
that had to be hot. That had to be worth a 500 in a match.
How big is the local pepper market?
I wouldn't be able to give you a figure, but I know it's significant, and it comes in different places. Let's start with from the morning, early in the morning with the doubles vendors. If we have 4,000 doubles vendors in Trinidad, each of them take a lot of pepper from the market. As you go through the day, you have your roti shops, you have your restaurants, and then you have your pepper sauce, then you have your kuchula, your mango, your pepper plum, and a lot of things, and also the export market. So there are a lot of things that use pepper in different amounts. And then some of the places, like some of the food places, local food places downtown, you still get your mother-in-law and your cut up pepper. I like to have the raw cut up pepper sometimes, but when I really on a day-to-day basis, I reach for my bottle. And when I reach for my bottle, I like to reach for brands that I'm familiar with. And then you have Bertie's, which started off in the family's kitchen. They up in Aranguez, they have certain standards. So Bertie's select their farmers. I've had some involvement in the farmers that they select. I must tell you that Bertie's buy from young farmers, and the pepper they're very selective with the pepper, with the color of the pepper. Very
what about this pepper sauce? You know about this one? Alvin's pepper sauce?
Yes, well, Alvin's has been heavy on social media. It's a nice pepper. I think it will be perfect with buffalo wings. I'm looking forward to trying it.
Absolutely.
And may I?
You can. Let's go. Let's see it. Squinch up the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, reporter asks you a difficult question there.
Huh. I come for more.
As the minister responsible for land and fisheries, you've traveled to breadth throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So tell me, what do you enjoy most about being a Trinbagonian?
The people and the food, boy. Trinidadians and Tobagonians, you start your morning with a laugh, with a smile, exciting people, but food. Every Trini represents something to eat. And we move quickly into that, very, very quickly. And you know, we could eat what would be dinner for somebody, we could have it for breakfast, we could be mixed up. And that is the beauty about Trinidad and Tobago. I like the people, I like the food, and they work together.
And what's your favorite meal in terms of local cuisine?
Well, I have different preferences, but I would say a good pilau, but it must have some pepper sauce with it. A good pilau, dal and rice and anything vegetarian, fry fish, those kinds of things. I like anything local.
What do you enjoy most about Tobago?
Tobago is clean and serene. You could sleep a lot there, but I know that Tobago also has very, very good food. Not I don't know if Tobagonians eat as much as pepper as Trini people on this island, but I know that they like the rabbit and they like they like lamb and goat and those things, and in a curry goat you must get some hot sauce.
You know, I never had rabbit. You ever had rabbit?
I love rabbit.
Wow.
And the rabbit and the Alvin's pepper. Yeah, I could see that working. But
most people say that the meat is sweet. Can you define why they say it's sweet? I don't understand that.
Different people say different things about rabbit. It's a very healthy meat. As I say, heavy in Tobago. I think about Tobago is that they cook it in a way that it tastes like wild meat. So for people who don't eat wild meat, may eat that. They use a lot of bay leaf in it and a lot of spices, and it is it's a nice meat. It's just that people see the rabbit as being the pet rabbit that you have at home. It's not that. Rabbits like chickens and ducks, you grow it commercially, and we have ups and downs with the industry in terms of the highs and lows in it, and sometimes people have a very good interest in it, and sometimes the interest falls off. But Tobago, if you want good rabbit, stew rabbit, that's the place to go.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Popeyes. This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by B-Mobile. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, so Senator, we're going to move on to the next pepper sauce here, which we have the Caribbean flavors, the Sizzler.
Scotch bonnet in this one.
Yes, let's do it.
You get a kick right away if it's a kick you're looking for. Right down the throat.
So, Senator, let's talk a little bit about food security. The Prime Minister has made a lot of statements on the issue of food security over the past year. Should we be worried?
We should always be concerned about what's happening in the global market. Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of people talk about growing our own food, and I make the point all the time. There are things that we will import. For example, rice, flour, some of the peas and beans, we will continue to import those things. So we have to be concerned because we don't control the growing environment. For example, right now prices are, in the last year, some prices have gone up as much as 40% because of weather factors, because of production factors, some countries stockpiling, so prices go up. But then you have issues with shipping. But the point is that what drives our food security is our support for what we produce in Trinidad and Tobago. And it doesn't have to be what we grow in Trinidad and Tobago only, what we manufacture, what we package, what we make for export. All those things are important because it creates jobs and it creates activity in our economy.
Should we be more focused on getting our products to other markets, or should we be focused on placing food on the table?
We should be focused on the two. I think we have in some areas, we have untapped areas in Trinidad and Tobago. The whole country may be knowledgeable about pepper, for example, but there may be non-pepper eaters who might be inclined to use a product that has some pepper in it, an element of pepper in it. But so we need to focus on maximizing our market here. But we have a market out there that is ready-made, what we call the diaspora, the Trinidadians living in Canada, in Europe, in the United States, up the islands, and even Caribbean people who are all around the world and want to identify the feeling you get when you walk into a Walmart and you see a Matuk, so you walk in somewhere in Miami and you see a Bertie's or you see one of the local. The feeling you get is one of patriotism and pride, and we must be exporting all the time, and we have a lot of support for exporters in the country.
And now we're gonna take you into kitchen powered by Uniped, where we check out our yummy local cuisine and beautiful destinations around Trinidad and Tobago. Let me go. So we're in the kitchen today, powered by Unipet. And today I'm here with Damien Lookpat. The man is a photographer by day, but a chow connoisseur by night. Damien, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Man, tell me, what are we going to be doing today?
Alright, so today we're going to make some mango chow. This is via mango or long mango.
Wow.
And then we're going to use the basic ingredients that will normally go into a chow.
Right.
Which is shadabani or bandania, garlic, some pepper and some salt and some citrus, which is our lime.
Right. So when I'm done, so I can make chow for the family.
Exactly.
All right.
The mangoes that we use are normally half ripe. Some people use the green one and some actually use the ripe ones. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut up the shadabani. Squeeze it with me.
But if you don't have a squeezer, you can just like...
Put it in it. The only thing, you get a lot of seeds in it.
Okay, cool.
All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic on top of it. So there are two other ingredients that will finish off as a traditional chow, which is the salt to taste.
So how much salt to add?
Well, it's salted taste. So this is half ripe. So it's not going to be very sour and it's not going to be too sweet. So you don't want to put too much. So this is actually a teaspoon. Right, and the last ingredient
You really mean a little piece?
is your scotch bonnet.
Chinks on the pepper here. You really mean a little piece? Like that's a little piece you talk about?
Yeah,
Chinks on the pepper here.
Right, so let's give it a little stir. Combine all those ingredients.
I'm just excited to reach the part where we put the seasoning and we see the color start to come together and stuff.
So what I want you to do is taste it first, and then you're gonna add my sauce.
Yes, sir. I like that part.
So
But not too salty, perfect.
So this is, I mean, Trini is like this. This is one of the most favorite Trini savory snacks you can have. This is my chow sauce that is actually already made.
Right.
So this one is sly pepper.
Right.
And this one is actually my pepper sauce with chow.
Right, because I got a little
So
kick from that one.
So this one has a lot of kick in it. So what we're gonna do, because it has the flavor in it, so we're just gonna add a little bit to this
Keep the bottle.
and just mix it up a little bit.
Smell
So
it
what I
already.
want you to do
Let's taste it now.
is taste it now with
Yes.
my.
Oh my gosh.
They take the chow to a different level.
I like the kick. I love it. So what now?
All right, so what I'm going to show you is that you can make chow with any other fruits. All right, so other fruits that in most countries are pineapple. So you could use pineapple. Pineapple is the next favorite chow that people in Trinidad loves.
And I know the ladies love that too.
One of the three ways you can cut pineapple. Right, so you're going to put lime on top of it, not too much. Just a little bit, not too much. Let's put a little bit of garlic. A little bit of salt, not too much salt, not as much as because this one is a little sweet. Alright, so let's put a little bit of this sauce, just to add it in. Just toss that up a little bit.
Yes.
So now it's looking like chow.
Flavorful. And it's not as hot because of the pineapple sweetness,
sweet,
salt, pepper, love it.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I'm going to start with the next pepper sauce here. This is a pepper sauce that I need your advice on. And this next pepper sauce here is the House of Tempo pepper sauce. And this is Tempo's very own pepper sauce.
Right, so this is what I call the house pepper.
You ever had this one?
Not at all.
Absolutely.
Not at all. This is our first time. And you see this one? This is the lovely color. Start off right there. And I wonder what causing it to have this color. I just predicting that it might be slightly acidic. Nice pepper, the Muruga red. I talk about that, so you know I like that.
Yes, I know you like that.
So tempo in the lead already.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
And then the vegetables, because one of the secret to a good pepper
It's the vegetables.
It's the vegetables and striking, boy. I can't wait. I could go ahead.
Let me raise the tempo and then we
Right.
try the thing now, man. Let's take a deep dive in it. We gotta make sure it tastes it good.
Yeah. Good.
And you're ready,
Mm-hmm. Good.
Senator enjoying that wing.
I go and eat that bone too, boy. Now put this away, yes?
I'll call that the celebratory sauce, but tell me what you think about it.
It's the smoothest. It just, as soon as I taste it, I knew there was some vegetable in it. I got that. I got a nice kick, exactly as I said it would be.
And I call it the celebratory sauce because Tempo is actually celebrating its 15th anniversary. You know, pushing the Caribbean dream forward. What does being a Caribbean man mean to Senator Clarence Ranbharat?
Happy, boy, you're happy, you're just happy. You're born with a little vibe. I mean, my rhythm ain't so hot up.
Right.
But you're born with a little vibe, a little, you're street smart, you could handle yourself.
You remind me of a song from our own lyrical, you know, Happy Place. He says, I'm at a happy place in my life.
Yeah,
and
you're
I
home.
can't change. You like that song?
Yeah.
Alright.
And when you say I'm at a happy place in my life, the word that come out is at a home. Like in the house at Tempo.
And the house at Tempo. Marshall sing about you in the happiest man alive.
Well, I'm not the happiest man alive, but I'm close to.
You're close to there.
Yeah, this is a lovely country. I can't help that. This is a lovely country, and you're born in this part of the world. Then you have a little extra. It's just like the house of Tempo Pepper.
Yes.
You have a little extra. Give them the edge so far.
One Caribbean, one love. Which Caribbean islands have you visited so far?
All I've had the opportunity to work in all.
Every single
and
one.
I've lived in another one in Barbados. I've been to all, and I've enjoyed all of them. Each different.
And which type of Caribbean music is your favorite since you've visited all these various islands?
Ah boy, soca and chutney. Soca and chutney is my thing.
Name a favorite soca tune for me.
When I say soca, you're going back to when Shorty start or last year.
Anyone that is categorized as soca, and give me your best chutney soca one as well.
Last year I like Black song, girl. I forget what it is, boy. Girl something.
Galona is the name of the song.
Galona, yeah, I like that one.
No girl tonight. Somebody go touch it for you.
Somebody go touch it for you.
You like that?
Yeah, that's a kind of Trinidad Tobagonian. That is our kind of song.
I mean, they say it's not always yours, it's just your turn. I don't know how true.
Yeah, well, that's carnival season. Carnival season ownership done, it's push a ship arrive. Who push, who get, I think so. And plenty men is get to sick when it comes to that.
Yes.
That's
all chutney soca.
Chutney, boy, I like Ravi B, I like all of them. I like the little rum song and thing because it's a relaxing. I don't listen to chutney to get any. I listen to it for entertainment. I mean, there's a limit to the alcohol and the all of that, but I like the simple ones.
Yes.
I like the old ones, and boy, I like Ravi B.
But talking about soca music, I'm gonna sing a song for you, and you will tell me which Caribbean artist sang the song and where is he from. The song is "A Feeling Hot, Hot, Hot."
Right. Arrow.
Where's he from?
Who good? Antigua.
Take our next step and try to figure it out.
Montserrat.
That's your final answer?
Yeah, Montserrat.
It's actually Montserrat, man. The Minister of Agriculture definitely knows his thing.
Montserrat.
So we're gonna move on to the next pepper sauce here. The one that you spoke very highly of.
Yes, Bertie consistency.
Bertie's original pepper sauce.
This one gonna be good. This is a.
When you reach home, just tell your wife you're eating pepper on the Hot Ones Caribbean. Okay, I blind.
Bite off the bone of that one, boy.
Minister, we have a recurring segment on this show called Explain That Gram, and it's powered by B-Mobile. And it's a segment where we do a deep dive into your Instagram. Well, in your case, we had to do Facebook because there wasn't much activity on Instagram.
Yeah, and the slow lane still.
So we did a deep dive into your Facebook, and we pulled some images that we think that need some more context. So I'm going to show these images to you, and you're going to tell me what's going on. What's going on here, Minister?
Oh, That is while I lived in British Columbia in Western Canada. And that is the Vasaki Festival. British Columbia, Sikh people came to British Columbia more than 100 years ago. They came to work in the sawmills, and then they came onto the mainland, and they brought their rich culture. They're now big farmers, specifically fruit farmers. British Columbia produces about 75% of the world's cranberry, and a lot of those farms are owned by Sikh farmers. And that is a festival, and I had my turban on that day, and I had a lot of people checking me out.
Absolutely.
And most importantly, I don't know if you noticed something about that photo. That's a true chinny Caribbean kind of thing. Because
I saw somebody in the back here blushing as well.
Oh, that is my wife.
Okay, wonderful.
No, I don't think it's my wife. My wife took the photo.
What about this picture here? You seem like an animal lover, boy.
Yeah, that is with me with my dog. That dog has a long history. So that's me with my dog, Butter.
Butter?
Yeah, he was adopted from Taiwan.
Why name the dog Butter?
I didn't name him. He came with the name. He was rescued in Taiwan.
Right.
And my wife felt it was time that we get a dog. And she went on social media and had a petition for me to agree. And I saw the photo and my heart melted the same way this pepper just melting all my whole body. And he was adopted from Taiwan, and I had to go through 30 pages of agreement, read a long agreement and so on. Wow. And he's an amazing dog.
That's Clarence and Butter.
And
That's
Butter.
my love story name for you. What about this image here?
That's Brother Superior. Brother Superior, Mr. Macano was from my community in Rio Claro. Our families actually grew up opposite each other, and he was my parents and my first introduction to the world of calypso and culture and Port of Spain. Of course, my parents also grew up with Winston Peters Gypsy. You may not know, but I was born about 500 feet from where the train spent the night. So when the train left Port of Spain, one went to San Fernando and one went to Rio Claro, and about 500 feet from where the main engine spent the night, I was born and I grew up there. And right next to that now, as the single pan side that I grew up with, Rio Claro Casqueros, and next to that had stick fighting. And that is why when you see me or you hear about me, I'm always associated with pan and stick fighting, two of the passions in my life.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Be Mobile. This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by Unipet. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Lactose-free milk.
Wow. Where does milk from? Enjoy lactose-free enriched. This is a nice milk. I like that. I could eat pepper and drink milk.
Well, let's move on to the next pepper sauce, which is actually the Matuk's Trinidad Scorpion pepper.
Nearly choked there, yes?
I find the words becoming less and less.
Yeah, my tongue getting a little heavier.
Well, Minister, as you would know, Trinidad and Tobago is home to one of the hottest peppers in the world, which is the Trinidad Scorpion pepper.
Yeah, of course, Muruga Scorpion. I'm from that part of the country, southeast Trinidad, but Muruga Scorpion remains one of the hot ones that you could actually, with some effort, consume. Some of those really hot ones are not really for mainstream consumption.
Right. And I know that the government is moving towards building a food production facility in Muruga. Tell me some about those plans.
It's an agriculture and light industrial estate in Muruga. It's shells, factory shells, warehouse shells, and also land space. And we have a lot of interest in it, but we ourselves, the ministry through NAMDEVCO, will also be taking a lease on one of them, and in particular to support Muruga entrepreneurs who do various things, including pepper sauce, grown in Muruga, blended with things that are abundant in Muruga, pimento, pawpaw that is grown down there, and some of the traditional spices. And I think it will do well for Muruga, and it will do well for Trinidad and Tobago.
And the Muruga scorpion pepper is hot. It's real hot. So do you see an opportunity for us to have a pepper festival in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, a lot of there's been a lot of talk about it over the years. We have a lot. Once you say pepper, my experience has been once you say pepper, you get a lot of people come out because they associate pepper with food, pepper with the Caribbean, pepper with music, pepper with a nice Caribbean drink, and it is us. It defines what we are. You know, hot sometimes. We have to use something to cool us down, and that defines us. And I think once we get out of the COVID, in fact, once we come out of COVID, we have been planning a national agriculture exhibition, and that will include some display and some show and some showcasing of pepper and all.
Where will this be held?
At UE grounds. But that a centerpiece of that is going to be these beautiful things that we grow and we brand and we bottle, we export, we consume, and most importantly, the things that define us.
We definitely look forward to having that exhibition and maybe even making an appearance at this exhibition.
Yes, well, now that I'm here, I'm seeing the potential for it. But you know, the lawyer in me tells me we have to drop some serious disclaimers, boys. But I think something like this. I've been to one on the East Coast. I couldn't bear to look at it really because of the pain I see people going through. But I think that this will fit in absolutely well with the National Agriculture Exhibition, and I think that people would be drawn to it. I see the potential for it.
Absolutely, I do see the potential as well. And I see the potential of you moving on to the next pepper sauce.
Of course.
The Old Duppy Fire Pooch Pepper Sauce. Gonna take it to Barbados now. Let's do it.
Yeah, boy. Smelling it already.
Mm-hmm. Take a nice big bite.
Mm-hmm. It has a kind of slight barbecue sauce taste.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the thing that people coming over for some ribs or something, local ribs,
right?
And you want to control the appetite.
You put some fire pooch on it.
You brush some fire pooch. That should slow down traffic.
I like that idea. You know, I never heard of that. Now, Minister, we have a recurring segment on this show called the What You Know segment, and this is my segment on the show. Now, as you know, I've been to over 26 destinations around the world, asking the people these simple questions in the street to see what they know. General knowledge questions. So I want to see what you know. I'm gonna ask you 3 simple questions. For each question you answer incorrectly, you need to take a second dip. But I will pick the pepper sauce that you need to use to take that second dip. And if you answer them correctly, I will take a second dip. You think you're ready?
Already, I'm gonna get all wrong.
Alright. I hope not, for your sake. This is the first question. Which pepper is the hottest pepper on the Scoville scale?
Let me see, boy. I think it is I know it's the Grim Reaper. I think it's the Chicago Grim Reaper.
It's actually the Carolina Reaper.
Oh Lord, I was close.
So it was close, but you gotta take a next dip. And
Right.
this is the second question here. Can you tell me what is photosynthesis, Minister?
Right, photosynthesis, I should know this one. That is the process by which a plant takes light energy and converts it to plant energy.
Minister, you know your thing. Which one I had a dip?
Habanero.
You do it.
I have to dip too.
You had a dip, yeah.
Boy, you're easing me up. So which one you giving me?
I'm giving you the one right after the scorpion pepper, the Old Duppy Fire Put sauce.
God. Right, this is from Barbados. God, fire pooch. With the Carolina Reaper.
So I
Alright,
picked that one for the one that you answered incorrectly. To teach you a lesson,
let us go.
literally and figuratively.
We ready for this?
We ready? Let's do it.
I feel my whole body move with that one.
Your body shake up.
Now
And-
move.
And this is the final question here. Minister, what is dendrology?
Give my pepper to it one time. Because I can't even think.
Try now.
Dendrology. Now give up.
I'll make it in the house of tempo pepper sauce.
Right, so going into the house of tempo.
Dendrology is the
Study of
trees. Here's a man come from trees. The Minister of Agriculture, man, I thought you would have known, but I catch you today.
it was the pepper. I tell you, I can't even concentrate after the duppy. I told you that. I can't even concentrate. The duppy all flaming up my head. You studying things I studying trees? Studying the heat.
You studying the heat. But
Wow.
you have some enjoy milk if you need some milk to reduce the heat.
Yeah. Let me try some milk.
The man say he ain't studying no trees right now, he's studying the heat.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, now that we get into number 10, it's plenty tempo, I don't know when it will end. I really want to get to the habanero. 1 to 9 was trouble for so. They asked me to sing about Caribbean tempo, but I just want to reach a habanero and go. I want to leave here and go and lie down, because if I stay here, my body could just burn down. Santi Manite.
I could definitely see why agriculture chose you. And Minister, let's move on to the final pepper sauce, which is the habanero 100%
I know that
scorpion
one. There we go.
pepper sauce. Let me go. We're so excited
This
for this
one, I know a lot about it, but the thing that surprised me about this is that I was in Canada and my children saw it and I was very surprised that they got hooked on it because it is hot, and that just tell me that they're true Caribbean people and they know a good thing when they taste it. But this is a delightful pepper. I would like to dip into it, and
Well, let's do it. Let's dip into it.
and I know, I'm telling you in advance, this is one that goes right down very fast.
But with this one, I want to do a tradition which that we do on this show. We do something called the dip and twist on this show.
Right,
So you put the wing inside,
and you twist
sink
it.
it all the way down,
Right,
twist it, and then you pick it up like a spoon.
right, and then you bust out crying.
And then you bust out crying. And then your pooch get fire up. Let's go.
Well, this one goes straight to the midsection fast. I know that much.
I could very imagine, being in the political life, there are a lot of embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
And this is the Hot Moments sponsored by Andrews. What is the most embarrassing story in your political life?
Political life or life?
Political life, political career.
It was last year during the sit-ins we had in the Senate with COVID, during the COVID period, and I was there acting leader of government business. And I was responding to a question that Saddam Hussein had asked me, and it was about the hostile vessels which were coming to Trinidad. And I felt that I answered the question very good. I gave them some good jamming. And towards the end, I said something about one of them, and these vessels are on the way. And in fact, the APT James, I saw a photo just before I came here.
Right.
And Saddam looked at me in shock and he said, APT James buys a passenger ferry. He had asked me about the Coast Guard vessels, and here as I talking, I answered about the Coast Guard, but I went into unnecessary details about the APT James.
Right.
And he looked stunned, and I tried to recalibrate very quickly, and I did a little bit
That was a hot one.
and sat down. Yeah, this habanero, as I said, goes down and comes back up. I really like this milk, boy.
You need some milk. And on the third week I was asking if you wanted some milk, you know, and he was like, nah. I told you, the word is not nah, but the phrase is.
But it turned out that I had to answer another question. And when I stood up, I then said, I apologize, but my colleagues had a good laugh on me. And the lesson learned is, when you make the point, stop. When you eat enough, stop.
I love that point. On the government's website, it says that you're happily married with 3 children.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
Long enough to have 3 children. My first son is in his mid-20s, second one early 20s, and my daughter is 15.
So what do you do to keep your marriage hot, like the pepper on the table, after being married for so long?
Listen, or pretend to listen.
Right.
My wife is a wonderful person. Before convincing her to fall in love with me, she was my best friend. She was actually trying to find a woman for me, and we eventually moved from best friends to dating, and we remain best friends to this date. I wouldn't be where I am without her.
What's going on there?
When she sees this, she'll ask me exactly that question. Clarence, what? I'm on fire.
Clearly.
And I'm only heating up because I'm talking about my wife. I get really hot when I talk about her, because there's just passion, there's just
you
love.
get hot, like, oh.
The secret to a good healthy marriage, of course, is mutual respect and always being best friends above everything else.
And listening.
You must listen. Oh gosh, men must listen.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna roll out the red carpet for you right now, because you were victorious. You've made it to the end, to the final pepper sauce.
Oh.
So I'm gonna give you an uninterrupted 30 seconds to look at this camera, this camera, this camera. Tell the people what's going on in your life. Promote what you want to promote. Clarence Ranbharat, Minister of Agriculture.
Well, the people know, Trinidadians and Tobagonians know that I represent Trinidadians and Tobagonians and the Caribbean region. I represent all of you, all your dreams. I'm a product of this country. I now work for you. I'm now employed by you and seeking your interest in relation to promoting our farmers, promoting food production. But most importantly, you always hear me say this, I promote health, wellness, and longevity. As the pepper that caused me to get tied up there, and you know that. And that only means that I'm a Trini just like you. I want you to work hard, work to develop this country, support our farmers, eat what we grow, eat what you know, love tempo.
That was Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fishery. My name is Daniel Loveless, and that was another episode of Hot Ones Caribbean. And see you next time. Let me go.
You are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one.
Minister, how you doing over there?
Good. Waiting to explode. Yeah. I never look forward to Andrew so much in my life.
We gotta spice it up like fire.
This edition of Hot Ones Caribbean is brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Trinidad and Tobago. Like, comment, and subscribe.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one.